My name is Cody Dean. I'm from 20 years old, and I'm from Dana Point, California. When I was young, my parents got divorced. Happened when I was about 2. My mother moved me and my brothers up to Oregon to get away from my dad because he was a drug addict and an alcoholic at the time. When I was 4, my dad sobered up, and so we came back down to California, and things were going pretty good for me in life. I was growing up Protestant. My family was Protestant. I went to church all the time, loved God, loved my dad, loved my family, just happy kid. And then stuff started to happen with my dad where I started being angry at him. And the more angry I became at my dad, the more angry I became at people that were like him. And to me, those were Christians. I thought Christians were hypocrites, and I thought that they would go to church on Sunday and then they would go home and, treat their families like crap and, drink, do whatever they wanted to do. And so I wanted nothing to do with the church. I wanted nothing to do with Christians or Jesus or anything. And, I felt that God wanted nothing to do with me anyway. So in 7th grade, I stopped going to church completely. I hadn't gone to church from the time I was in 7th grade until my senior year in high school. High school was actually interesting. I ended up at a Catholic high school, and that was because I was good at football, and they were willing to pay a scholarship for me to come there. And so I spent 4 years at that Catholic high school fighting with my teachers, arguing with them, trying to convince them that Catholicism was wrong. I was arguing for some non-denominational brand of Christianity that I can't even tell you what it was, but I didn't even really believe in that. I believed that God didn't care about me, and that really it was just kind of some chess game, that he was moving the pawns around and just kind of enjoying really the things that happened to us, and didn't care one way or the other how it turned out. My senior year in high school, I went on a retreat called Kairos, and I didn't want to go. I only went because a teacher of mine convinced me to go, said it was a week off school, so I should. I took that opportunity to get out of school. I didn't want anything out of the retreat. I just wanted to leave school. But during that retreat, I had a huge experience. One of the evenings on the retreat, I realized something that I remembered from when I was little, which is when I was little, somebody asked me, "Does God love you?" I would say, well, that's a stupid question. Of course God loves me. And growing up throughout life, just the things that happened with my family, and with just all the stuff that happened in school, girls, football, just life being dealt one bad hand after another, I stopped believing that. Stopped believing that God loved me. And when I was on that retreat, it occurred to me, that's a stupid question. Of course God loves you. And after that, I decided that I wanted to work in youth ministry. I wanted to do something for Christ. I ended up working at the high school that I graduated from, doing youth ministry there. I still wasn't Catholic, so I had no intention of becoming Catholic. But over the course of that year, my campus minister from high school, who is now my boss, I talked to him. I talked a lot to my friend's mom, who was Catholic. We discussed the faith. I started listening to a lot of Lighthouse Media CDs, specifically by Scott Hahn. And I started realizing the truth of Catholicism. I started realizing that a lot of the beliefs that I held about Catholicism were simply misunderstandings that people hadn't bothered to explain away. And then I was convinced of one thing in particular. I was convinced of the Eucharist. And once I was convinced of that, nothing else mattered. All I knew was that if Jesus Christ was being distributed, body, blood, soul, and divinity in the Catholic Church, that's where I needed to be. So on Easter of 2012, I converted to the Catholic faith. That May, I applied to Net Ministries and joined Net in August. Served the 2012-2013 year with Net. I'm now going to go attend the University of Dallas in Dallas, Texas, which is a private Catholic school. And after that, I hope to go on with my life and serve the Lord in any way that I can. But my goal is to be a campus minister at a high school somewhere, so that maybe someday I can reach out to a student that was like me, that wants nothing to do with the church, wants nothing to do with God, and thinks that I'm a hypocrite, and I can show them Christ's love in me.